When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Eric Thomas, one of the world's best motivational speakers. Did you know that he was a high school dropout and homeless? Today we're going to talk about how he decided to overcome that and become one of the best motivational speakers in the world. What's going on, everyone? I'm Antonio and I'm passionate about improving yourself. I believe that no matter what you are facing, you can overcome it. Today we have an example of someone doing just that, Eric Thomas. He came back from being a high school dropout and homeless to having his PhD and being one of the best motivational speakers in the world.
Stop just waking up like an accident. What do you want? And then once you find out what you want, spend the rest of your natural life waking up and going after it.
So let's dive right into his story. So Eric Thomas is from Detroit, Michigan. When he was young, he loved playing football with his friends, and that was his goal, was to become a football player. Also was best friends with his mom. Their relationship was so close. They would tell each other everything. Then when he was at the age of 12, everything changed for him. His life took a turn for what most of us would call the worst. He found out that his dad might not actually be his real father. So he went to his mom, asking his mom for the truth. And his mom told him that his dad, that he's been spending his whole life with, is not his real father. Now this made Eric go down this terrible, terrible spiral. He stopped caring in school. He gave up wanting to be an awesome football player. He just wouldn't talk to his mom for weeks. This person that used to be his absolute best friend is now not someone that is even in his life remotely. Just imagine that for a second. Seeing your best friend lie to you your entire life, for the most part. You feel like you were betrayed from them, from someone that you trusted so much. Finding out that his father was not really his real dad made him realize that he was not loved by his parents. He felt like he wasn't actually someone that his parents wanted to have, someone that he actually was meant to be. And the thing was that was just his perception of the situation. So one takeaway here is that your perception is everything. He perceived that his parents didn't love him simply because they had him by mistake. That's not true. His mom and dad still loved him. His dad might not have as much, but his mom was there taking care of him every single day for the last 12 years. And his dad, who has been there, his stepdad, I guess you could say, was taking care of him this whole time. It's not that they didn't love him, it's just that Eric believed that they didn't love him. Eric took this to heart and made it about himself. And by doing that, it caused him to go down this super negative spiral with hanging around the wrong kids, dropping out of school and becoming homeless. If that perception was never the case and he just listened to his mom, then maybe he would not have ever been homeless. But then maybe he would not be where he was today.
People are missing that mentality.
And what's going to get them to develop that mentality and that belief? What's it going to take?
I say for me, it was hitting rock bottom. And so hopefully for them it's hitting rock bottom or not hitting their goals and having this cycle of loss that they'll say, like a LeBron. You saw LeBron crying. That was because Cleveland had lost for so many years. Like they had never had a championship. So he was just like, yo, we finally did it, but it was year after year of losing that even when he left and won, he came back because he remembered the loss and said, yo, this is good, but this isn't what I set out to do. Like, I want to be a winner and I want this town to know what it feels like to win. So I think that's it. When you lose enough or you hit rock bottom and you just say like, enough is enough, just everything will snap and change because you're saying, look, the way I've been doing it, it's not working. So I have to do something different. So I just think, man, you got to hit rock bottom.
Here's the interesting.
So this is when he started being a homeless person. He was sleeping in abandoned buildings. Now, he didn't decide to do this. His mom kicked him out on the street to teach him a lesson. Little did he know that this would be the best thing that ever happened to him. One day, he realized that he didn't have to be homeless anymore. He could make a difference in his own life. So he decided to get out of Detroit and move to Alabama, where he got his GED and decided to go to school, where for the first time he was surrounded by black men that were positive influence on his life, whereas previously he said his entire life he was surrounded by negative people. So for the first time he had positive people of his own kind in his life. lifting him up.
Every cold night, the winter Detroit, and the abandoned buildings and cars, sleeping in, and listen to me, I was sleeping all over. I outlasted it. There's some things in life you don't need no degree for, you don't need no money for it. Listen to me, you don't need no support for it. There's some things in life you just gonna get through when you tell yourself, I'm gonna get through this. This is the TGI where I tell you, you can't get through it. And then second, you just gotta outlast it.
Having these people around made him realize his true potential. They asked him to speak one day, and he really never thought of himself as a speaker. So he tried it, and he started loving it. And he promised that every single time he would be coming back to the podium to speak, he would become a better speaker. He would be at least a little bit better than he was the time before that. So he improved his speaking skills. And guess what? Now today, he's a motivational speaker. The next thing that I want you to take away from here is to surround yourself with positive influences. I know we hear this all the time, but it's so freaking true. When I see people around me making progress, I want to make progress myself. But when I see people around me relaxing and having a good time, it makes me want to relax and have a good time as well. I'm being influenced by the people around me. A quick example of this is for years I wanted to start investing in real estate, and I never really took a large piece of action. I made a couple phone calls here and there, looked up some properties online, but nothing ever really changed. I read so much about it that I believe it's called paralysis analysis, or analysis paralysis. So it took my roommate, who's also interested in real estate investing, to make that first move and call a mortgage broker in order to get a loan for a property. That same day, an hour or so later, I did the same exact thing. But because I was surrounded by him who took a positive leap forward, I also took a positive leap forward. And it was so much easier because I saw him do it. So having people that work harder than you, that work smarter than you, that are interested in the same goals as you are, that want to do the same things as you, or have already done them, those are the people you need to have around you, because it will make your job so much easier to get to where you want to go. Now, if you're fighting against the negative influences, then you will never get there. As in Eric Thomas's case, he probably would have never became a public speaker. But if he was never homeless, he would have never moved to Alabama, he would have never went to school there, met all these positive people that then made him a public speaker, that then turned him into this motivational speaker that he is today. But it took all of those things to happen in order for him to become who he was. So he finished up his schooling, and he ended up getting his PhD. Someone who dropped out of high school got his PhD. Whereas most people would say you have to be a high school prodigy to get your PhD, or really care about school to get your PhD. He, someone who dropped out, did. It also took him 12 years to get his first 4-year degree. 12 years! That's another thing that can be taken away from Eric's story, is that no matter what you are going for, never give up. If you care about it and it's something you want to do, never give up. I remember when I went to school, most people finish their degrees in 4 years. There's some people that take longer, like 5 years or 6 years even. And those people are the people that get made fun of, the people that are assumed to not be smart because they couldn't finish school within the 4-year time frame. Imagine going to school for 12 years. That's 3 times the amount of time it took for Eric Thomas to go to school. Imagine all of the shit that was thrown his way, all the shit talking that other people said about him. You're stupid, you're never gonna make it, all of those things. But he persisted, he never gave in, never gave up, and kept going. Be relentless. If what you want is important to you, then go out and get it, and never give up. You may have seen that clip that I showed in the beginning. Succeed as bad as you want to breathe. That's exactly what Eric Thomas stands for. Now, if you're looking to get motivated, make sure to check out the video right here, because this is one that has motivated me out of so many dark times and will help you overcome any obstacles. But if you want to keep hanging out with me, then check out the video down there. Remember that no matter what you are facing, you can overcome it.